Hello everyone and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, Jeskai Treasures. So last time I played a Is It Treasure deck and I found it struggled a lot in a litany of scenario because, well, a lot of times I just got stumped by enchantment since they're a cheating deck and the Shuffler cheats for them. So instead, I wanted to try out a different version of the, bunch of treasure sort of a style, but I wanted to try it out with Jeskai because I love the color white. It's got so much removal in the current metagame, and it has the Wandering Emperor, which is kind of the best card. I would say Wandering Emperor is probably the best card that is in standard right now. Hands down, right? You can argue maybe it's Shieldred, but Wandering Emperor is so good. So, here's how this deck works. It's the same idea as the treasure deck from Is It. So, we try to get a lot of treasure and then cast some big spells or invasion into our sideboard to get a wish card and hopefully win that way. And when we look at this deck, right, I think against a lot of control decks, we have enough counter spells that we are able to kind of go toe to toe to some extent, and we got invasion to go to the top end. Against aggro decks, we got enough life gain to kind of sustain ourselves for a little bit, and then board wipes with board wipes. And against the temple deck, like Jin, like the mono blue color ones, we have Riveteers Requisitioner, which I think is the best card against mono blue, because what are they going to do? Bounce it? Otherwise, we're just going to keep playing it and hit them for 3 and until they kind of quit. So that's kind of the idea of the deck, and I want this to work. I really want this to work. I don't know if it will work or not. I wanted to find out. So we're here today to find out. Here's how this deck, here's the deck list for, I'm going to stop saying the word deck. And yeah, we start with 2 mana, 4 off Sunset Reverie, because we really need that card draw. We really need the 1/1 human, and we really need the 4 life, right? And my idea is that a lot of the part of this deck is to kind of vomit out your hand to try to get treasures, right? You can blitz out the Riveteers Requisitioner, you can discard a card for big score. All of these are not card advantage, so you're gonna have lower cards in your hand, lower number of cards in your hand, and Sunset Reverie's last mode should be able to trigger pretty easily. Unless our opponent's aggro, and if our opponent's aggro and they're vomiting out their hand, the first 2 modes are going to trigger very easily. So, it's a pretty good card for this deck. And then we have 4 Make Disappears. Of course, we're going to need that for the counter spells, and just so that we don't have anything to answer our opponents with. And if you have a blue deck and you don't have counter spells, you're probably doing something wrong. And we have then 4 Riveteers Requisitioner. This is kind of the heart of the deck, even though it's a small card. It doesn't seem that scary, but this kind of tries to replace Fable, right? It's a 2 mana to get a treasure, or 3 mana blitz to get a treasure. And if you blitz it, you also draw a card. So you don't actually lose a card when you blitz him out, which is pretty good. I think we can use it to catch Liliana, and that's something. We have 2 Volcanic Spite and 2 Sacred Fire. I'm not really quite sure if you're in 4 of either each, but I ran 2/2 because Volcanic Spite can help us shuffle a big spell back into the deck if we don't want that in the early game. If we want our hand to be small enough for Sunset Reverie, this could help. It also does 3 damage so that we can, sustain the board. We also have 2 Sacred Fire to life gain, and it's a flashback, so if we need to discard it with big score, we don't feel that bad. We don't actually have any 3 drops in the deck. Crazy enough, I know I'm risky, and I'm risking it all in the 4 drops. So we got the Wandering Emperor, 4 Wandering Emperor, and 4 big score. So these are the 4 drops that we really wanted to hit, so that we can get to the 5 drop, which is 4 Sunfall. You're gonna kill me, I'm gonna Sunfall you. So that's kind of the idea, and I in one of the playtests, I faced an enchantment and I sunfalled that deck 4 times. They keep refilling and I keep sunfalling, and at the very end, they're still too big, so I had to farewell. And once I farewell, their face exploded. So that's the idea. We also have 2 invasion for the whole theme of the deck. Is that we have a lot of treasures, we have a lot of mana, and we can invasion so that we can get the cards we actually want to play. And then we have 2 farewells, of course. We need that to not die, and 2 Chandra to double our spells. If we have Chandra and we have Invasion, we can basically triple our spells, and maybe we'll triple a 2 turn spell, right? And then the turn spells are the Alchemist Gambit. We only have 1 because, honestly, it started off with how do I copy Alchemist Gambit? That was the deck, but it does not work out in today's meta, so I kind of changed it so that it's a little bit more well-paced, the lack of a better term here. So we have 1 Soul Partition, and the Soul Partition is there so that we can Soul Partition our Invasion and play it again. So we get 2 if we need to do that. And because Soul Partition can also get copied by Chandra, we can kind of do 2 things at once. We also have Galvanic Iteration to copy another spell if we need to. We don't have that many spells to copy unless we are getting a lot of more card from the sideboard. We have 1 Filter Out to bounce everything. Also can bounce the Invasion of Arcavios, which is pretty good. We have 1 Alchemist Gambit to take extra turns. Devious Cover-Up, if we're going a long game, we can shuffle a lot of cards back into our deck and then kind of recycle that. And one of the cards we want to shuffle is Soul Partition, so that we can Soul Partition Invasion, and in the Invasion, we'll be able to get the Devious Cover-Up on the graveyard. And you can see that it's an infinite cycle anyways. We have 1 Farewell extra in the sideboard. In case we don't draw our Farewell, we can search for our Farewell. And I know that Invasion of Arcavios can already search within our deck, but I always like to jump into the sideboard just to get an extra card. And then we got Silver Scrutiny. If we're going long, again, the Silver Scrutiny is going to be able to help us draw a bunch of cards. So that's kind of the idea. And if you look at the land base, it's pretty hectic. We got 1 Iganjo, 1 Otawara, no Sokuzin, but we got 1 island, 1 mountain. It's a lot of colors spread out. But then we have 4 Deserted Beach, 4 Seachrome Coast for the blue-white color, 2 Shivan Rift and 4 Stormcarved Coast for the blue-red color, and 2 Battlefield Forge and 4 Sundown Pass for the red-white color. We got 1 Blazo and 1 Mirrex to fill out the lands, and we have a total of 26 lands. The deck is, even though treasure-heavy, we do need a lot of lands to get to that treasure-heavy side. And if our opponent's aggro, well, we got, a lot of things to stop aggro. The top 4 cards here are to stop aggro. And if our opponent's control, hopefully Riveteers Requisitioner is good enough. Hopefully Invasion of Arcavios is good enough. But if they're really heavy blue-white control, well, we're probably just going to get every one of our spells countered. So, we can't beat every deck. Let's see if we can beat any deck. Let's go Sandarang. Alright, pressing QQ will tap all your non-creature that adds mana. Ooh, I didn't know that. Tyralitar. The only one, hint that I didn't know about. They went over too fast, I couldn't read it. One goes first, so it's an aggro deck. We got Sacred Fire, I think. I think it's useful. Duress. Uh-oh. Well, what are they going to duress? My Emperor? I mean, it's either Emperor or Sunfall, right? Those are pretty good cards in my hand, so... Main board Duress. There it is. Alright, we play a Deserted Beach, then we'll play our Mountain, and then we'll play another Deserted Beach. Are they going to play Underdog? 2 Duress! They have a 3rd Duress? Well... 3 mana. Would they have a cut down? Let's find out. Nope. I was thinking about whether or not they have a cut down, and whether or not I want to hold up Sacred Fire. But the problem is, if they play like Graveyard Trespasser, Sacred Fire is just a dead card, so I didn't want to just throw it out there. There it is, see? Gotta be a little bit careful with what we're doing here. Otawara. Alright, well, I can't Sacred Fire that, I guess we'll just flip. If I attack and he doesn't block, am I happy with that? No. I mean, if I attack, he probably wouldn't block, right? Because he's going to miss a 4/4. So what's the plan here? Sacred Fire the Graveyard Trespasser, or the Graveyard Glutton? Yawgmoth Raider. Oh boy. We go up to 4, which is 5 mana next turn. We still can't Chandra. He exiles that. Block, for sure. And then we want to Sacred Fire the Glutton. Discard a land. Don't like to, but have to do it there. Sunset. Oh, that's a pretty good card to draw. Okay, so he can't do anything. I think it's better if I draw a card first, because I could get a land that I want to play rather than the Otawara. So let's hope it's good. I don't get a land, so I will play the Otawara. Alright, one more land and Chandra comes out. Or one more treasure. I don't think I can get another land though. I know my luck. Alright, it's not menace, right? So I can single block. Shieldred? If he's Shieldred, I might have to Sunfall, because Chandra is just not good enough against it. Tap Mirrex. Liliana. Oh, boy.
Something suspicious is going on. And for once, I'm tired of your secrets.
Alright, let's let's put all my hope on the land here, because if I don't draw it, I did not draw it. Oh boy! What do I do now? Oh, I know. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. We can attack Liliana and bring it down to bring her down to 3. I don't know if that's that good. Let my opponent draw a card that way. And I'm not gonna counter anything next turn because that will make me discard my Chandra, right? Will he make me discard next turn? He draws a card and then I discard. That's pretty bad. Alright, I'm gonna hold this. There's a cut down. Jeez. Alright, so that's gonna get rid of my Chandra. And then I won't have anything against Liliana. Alright, that's game. It's too many things. Too many things on board. Not enough time for me. And when I needed to draw a land there, 26 lands in a deck, couldn't draw it. I honestly think that, I don't know. I don't want to say that Liliana should be banned, but it's been hell playing against Liliana whenever I play any sort of a combo deck, because that is the bane of any combo deck. Alright, that is a terrific hand for us to keep. Right? 2 lands, no red, almost all cards are red spells. No. Alright, we can keep this hand. Too many deserted beach here, I think. Let's put 1 back. Also, our opponent got double duress opening hand. That was not a fair matchup, I would say. Not quite fair. So we get we want red, right? Because we want red and we want white to be able to Sacred Fire it if we need to do that. We can Sacred Fire the Hopeful. 2 Hopefuls. Oh boy. Actually, if we Sacrifice the Recruitment Officer, he can't really grow. But whatever he plays next turn would kind of be at the mercy of that. Guardian. Oh, 3 Hopefuls. Well, gotta kill one of those. Can't let them all train, right? Now we're drawing all lands. That's fantastic. Sunset River is pretty good. We're pretty low life here, so let's just do it. Well, he kind of made himself not able to attack with the Guardian there. We're not able to protect the Guardian. Wow, really? You coward? Well, you know, when you're playing mono white soldiers or mono white humans, you're probably not that good of a player. I've just insulted half of the Magic players because according to Arena, you're either playing soldiers or mono red. I don't know. There's probably like 17 players playing control, and I somehow meet all of them when I'm playing jank. Show blue longo. All right, opponent goes first. Have we gone first once? Right. Come on now. We know that doesn't happen. Alright, we got Sunfall, which is okay. Requisitioner can help us get the 4th land we need for the big old card. Alright, so let's get the Sundown Pass. White. Mono white. I mean, he's got the Gig Sleeve. Maybe it's Orzhov. If it is Orzhov, I'm not going to play out the Riveteer because it just dies. Companion. Interesting. Alright, I have enough land, so I'm okay if he kind of... I mean, I don't like it, but I'm okay if he exiles the Riveteer because I can still big score. My only concern... Okay, there's one other there. I have one Sunfall. It's an enchantment. Maybe I'll get more Sunfalls. Really? I mean, he's probably gonna Restoration of Agonjo, right? I think that's his idea. Kami. Okay. Kami is a card. I still have 2 lands, so this still comes into play on tap. Calyx. You got it? We take 4. Lots of damage. And we big score. Pitch a Forge. We get 2 lands. And then we get this. So, I think it's time. Time to show him who's boss. All gone. Generous Visitor. Yeah, you be generous. Junkai Naturalist. That's all you're gonna play? Still only lands, huh? Alright, so... Here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna get our Chandra exiled, because that's definitely what's gonna happen. But, at the very least...
It's time to do something.
We blow up their board.
This is the end.
And we still have a big score. We don't get to copy big score, which is what I wanted to do, but might have been a little too slow there. Against a fast bursty deck, it's better to play it safe. So big score will still get us 2 cards, our opponent quits anyway, so GG. Yeah, this deck can handle enchantments. And that makes me happy, because I hate that deck. I hate enchantments so much. Ready. Rabbite. We gotta go first? Oh my. With no red. I'm gonna keep 3 lands. This is a weird sleeve. I have that. But I did get this from Festival in a Box. I don't know if they got this from the recent Magic 30 event. Mono red. Uh-oh. Well, that's not gonna be fun for us. We don't have blue. Or we don't have red. For our 1 Sacred Fire, that would have been very useful this turn. Ha! Alright, double Kumano. You can do that. We're at 14. We get our red. Can we just kill it? Let's just kill it. Kill it before it grows. Had to do it there. Alright, it's gonna be a big creature coming up. I mean, we couldn't stop Squee anyways. We couldn't stop the Phoenix Trick. That's a 3/3. Alright, Sundown Pass it is. Reckless Impulse. Showing me his hand. Didn't want to attack with the chick, huh? That's interesting. Pretty obvious if he doesn't attack with the chick that he has a play with fire. Now he plays a chick. Even interestinger. Alright, well, Sunfall. Catches that. Let's make it 2-2. Wandering Emperor is good, but it would just die to like a play with fire. Another impulse. Chick. Doesn't want to play his Swiss Sphere there? Yeah, what? Alright, we got Reckless or Riveteers Requisitioner, which we will play as a blocker. Doesn't fly, but can block. We can attack for free. We have 2 invasions and a Chandra. Our Chandra can come on next turn. It'll probably get burned, but it can come on next turn. Kumano makes it a little bigger. Mechanized Warfare. Yikes. Alright, we need our Sayonara pretty soon. So we want this to die, right? With the 3-3. 3. Let's put it that way. It will die. We will still keep our 2-2, which can block. Get a treasure token. And our treasure token will be able to not do anything. We can burn the Phoenix trick off just to gain 2 life. There are 2 cards. Can it kill us next turn? With just 2 cards. That's my say.
Plan? Fire doesn't need a plan. When I say burn, burn.
Chandra's probably gonna die, but that's less damage to my face. Second Warfare. Wow. Okie dokie. Second Chandra. What do we do? Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I get 9 mana, which isn't much. Do I have anything in the sideboard for 4 mana? Not really anything for 4. Well, I got Devious Cover Up. That's 4 mana. Or I can do this. Alright, big score is a decent draw, I guess. This gives me 4 mana and 4 cards.
Scorching hot.
Pretty good. So, we got Wandering Emperor here. Do I need all that mana? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not enough for Wandering Emperor and Sacred Fire. So I'll play a tap land just to get that out of the way. And we still have Otawara open in case they have a big burn spell. What are you gonna do there with double Mechanized Warfare? Triple Mechanized Warfare. End the festivities. This is going to be for 4, right? Let's make sure that it doesn't happen. Or it doesn't get to me. Actually, this is... Wait, this is from hand, right? Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell? No. This is whenever we cast one. So, do we want to cast this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I use up 2, I'll have 11, which is not enough for... Actually, it is enough.
You can't slow me
So I'm
down.
gonna Emperor this turn. That's a little better. So
This
here's
is
my
what
plan.
you get for hurting my
I'm gonna tap to add 2 blue, so I can Invasion of Arcavios for a farewell. And then I'm gonna farewell for all enchantments and all graveyards. No. He has enough for a burst, huh? So yeah, I will get all graveyards too. It gets rid of my life gain, but that's okay.
Now or never.
How come the copy doesn't have the art? And then I will put a plus. No, I'll put a minus.
I guess that's it then.
Gods, to me.
You can't burst me down at 5 with 1 card, hopefully. And I have enough to kind of try to live. Alright, now we have a counterspell, so everything is going according to plan. Just according to Keikaku. Oh, and double reverie. Alright, that's game. So here's 8 life I'm gonna gain.
They won't know what hit.
GG. Take that, mono red. Alright, so yeah, we can beat aggro pretty easily with this treasure deck, and I feel really rich playing this deck because I get a lot of treasures. It's been fun. It's been a fun deck. I don't think I have enough time for another game today, but I want to talk a little bit more about the deck itself because I highly recommend this deck. It's janky and it catches people off guard, but it's really fun to play because once again, cards like Invasion of Arcavios have so many sort of different dimensions to it. You get so many different cards in the sideboard. You can decide what you want to draw out. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. In the early game, we got stuff to stop our opponent. We got life gain so that we don't die too quickly. Wandering Emperor also gave us a little life. And then this is the funniest thing, right? If you look at the current meta game, if you ever try to make a meta deck, or if you try to make a deck that's good in the meta, I think for a lot of colors, especially white or black decks, sometimes even blue decks, that what you really get hung up on are the 3-drops. You feel like, oh, there's too many good 3-drops to play. You got Liliana, you got Wedding Announcement, you have you use that Fable, the Mirror Breaker. There's so many. You got Graveyard Trespasser, right? There's so many 3-drops that you want to fit in, and I actively try to avoid that. I want to go 2-drop into 4-drop to see how it works. I know it's wonky because we don't actually have 3-drops in the deck, and it may feel like, hey, what do you do on turn 3? Well, we're really behind a lot of the times in the metagame, and I feel like a lot of times I'm just playing off curve. Like on turn 3, I'm playing a 2-drop anyway, just to not die, like a removal. So having a 3-drop that hits well on curve is nice and all, but we really don't get to be on curve because we always play second anyways. If you really want to have a 3-drop against an aggro deck, against something that you want to kind of get out, Riveteers Requisitioner is a 3-drop blitz, so don't forget that. If you have nothing to do, not against an aggro, against a control deck, if you have nothing to do, turn 3, you can blitz out a Riveteers Requisitioner. It gives you a treasure, and it kind of ramps you up into a 5-mana Sunfall if you need to, or have an extra land, or have an extra treasure if you need that extra treasure if you don't get a land drop for a turn 4 big score, or a turn 4 Wandering Emperor. They're all very good. The deck does not top out at like a 7-8 drop like a Traxa, Breach the Multiverse, or some crazy 8-drop dinosaur. It doesn't do any of that, right? It just tops off at Chandra. But Chandra is so good at copying Big Score, at copying Sacred Fire, at copying one of the things that we get from Invasion of Arcavios. And if you need good cards, Invasion of Arcavios will get you those good cards. And it's way better than having the good cards in your deck because this gives you dimensions, this gives you choices, this gives you modes. And that's what I like about this deck. I think it's very strong. It's not top tier. It's not going to be tier 1 for sure. There's a lot of fine-tuning that still can be done, especially in the mana base. And but I do think this deck can hold its own against tier 1 decks. It can hold its own against Mono Red Bird. It can hold its own against enchantments. That's what I see the most. I hate those decks, and I you know, I always mop the floor with them whenever I get a chance to. It can also sort of mop the floor with soldiers because we have 4 Sunfalls in the deck. So that's what makes it really enticing. And against Thalia, these turn 2 plays become turn 3 plays anyways. So yeah, I really like this deck. I think it's pretty good. I do recommend playing it for fun. That's all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time.